Yes. Hi, everybody. My name is Matt Kuehnel. If you would have asked me 2 years ago if I'd be up on this stage, I never would have guessed it. And I can't thank everybody who gave me tokens enough to give me this opportunity to get up here and speak. I'm definitely not the greatest speaker, and I probably don't have a great shot at winning, and that's not really why I'm up here. What I'm up here to speak to is to a movement that we've started, a movement that I'm a big part of and has a lot of support with it, and we call that Bottom Unity. And when I joined this party, I joined for Gary Johnson. I was 100% in. I became a volunteer for his campaign. I came in expecting that there was already going to be this infrastructure, that I was going to find all these people already involved and dedicated and doing professional things, and that's not what I found. I didn't find anybody in my area doing anything. We had to build up our own affiliate. We built up that affiliate. It's the Libertarians of Macomb County. That affiliate, a lot of them are here today. That affiliate, in my opinion, is the most diverse ideological affiliate in the nation. We have everything from myself being an anarcho-communist. We have classical liberals. we have the chair of the ANCAP caucus as our vice chair. We are so diverse in thought, yet every single meeting we have, almost every single motion we put together, it's passed unanimously. And the way we do that is we focus on electoral politics, what this party is supposed to be doing. We focus on giving our candidates and getting candidates on the ballot and giving them the most opportunity that they can get. Putting together different events to engage our community, to get their names out there, to get our ideas across. And we don't really fight or bicker at all. And that's what Bottom Unity is all about. It's about finding our common goals. And that common goal in the Libertarian Party is taking down the state interference from our lives. So what I hope to see here in NOLA is for us to finally set aside these differences and decide that, as long as we're working towards the same things, as long as we're helping each other and getting our candidates the attention they deserve and our ideas the attention they deserve, that everybody has a spot in this party. And it doesn't matter if you're an economically left, economically right, as long as you agree that those should occur voluntarily and that those shouldn't be enforced, those shouldn't be put to force by the state, we should be working on those common goals, and we have so many.
The chair position is unpaid. How will you fund your personal travels and accommodations to fulfill the expectations of a national party leader?
Okay. So for me, I'm married. We own our home. I work pretty much 50, 60 hours a week. I do facility maintenance, mostly HVAC, large commercial equipment. My wife's going through nursing school. She has 1 year left. So we're surviving on my income, and we're pretty lucky to be able to survive on one income these days with our age bracket. Millennials aren't typically able to survive off one income. So honestly, unless I start a GoFundMe, I'm not going to be able to, so please don't vote for me.
How would you, as chair, deal with a libertarian candidate who you feel harms the party or the cause of liberty?
Okay, so obviously as myself, I'm running for state representative as an anarcho-communist, and a lot of people feel like that hurts their campaigns or that somehow I'm a threat to them. And I feel the same way sometimes when it comes to the alt-right and these hard-right candidates. But to me, the only way that you effectively oppose that is by being the example, by being the better candidate, by supporting candidates that you believe are better candidates. Make their voices louder, make your voice louder.
What efforts would you prioritize to get the LP ready for the 2020 campaign?
I think the LNC does a lot of good things for our candidates, but I feel like there's only so much that a central committee can do for our candidates, especially when we're playing on the Republican and Democrat field, which is money and advertising, and we just can't compete. To me, it's that grassroots, and that comes down to the states, and that comes down to propping up and creating, if you need to, your local affiliates. You need to have a ground game. A grassroots effort can have way more effect than any amount of money that a candidate wants to throw out. If you have people on the ground, you have people knocking on doors, you have candidates on everybody's ballot in that state, that is more effective than hoping that the LNC itself is able to propel that candidate to success. It takes everybody on the ground working together.
What work would you do to convince elected officials of other parties to switch to our party, assuming that they're aligned with our statement of principles?
Honestly, it's tough because I don't know how many are really aligned with our principles. So to me, it's more about fostering, like I said, you get people engaged in your community. You get normal people up there, the ones that you can trust that aren't going to be corrupted once they get into the game of politics, because it's so easy to start having people give you money and then you feel obligated and then you start taking on different positions and you change. So I think it's really about education first. You educate people on the libertarian ideals and then you give them the tools to go out there and be candidates. But otherwise, I think just being successful, having ballot access, and having a platform that's attractive could sway some people our way, but I'm not sure if that's the best way to success.
Is the danger of a takeover of the LP by left or right-wing collectivists real or imagined? How do you address the concern?
Is it possible? Sure, absolutely. Our party is half the numbers it was 18 years ago when we had Harry Brown, who cared about principle. Currently, we have a confirmed communist running for chair of this party on stage. It's absolutely possible. And until we grow this party with libertarians, it will continue to be possible. And that's why I say my first month as chair, I will reaffirm our principles, including property rights, and make sure that this country knows what we stand for.
Okay. He said all there is to say.
That's my rebuttal.
Thank you, Joshua. Over to you, Nick.
I threw my card.
What?
We do have a
I didn't even see that.
Kuehnel. Matt?
It didn't go far, but yeah, I would like to rebut that. Yeah, I'm a communist running for chair. The takeover that we should be afraid of is authoritarians. I am not an authoritarian communist. I am for complete anarchy, and that is what communism is. It's stateless, it's classless, it's absent market, and yeah, it can be used as a tool for authoritarianism, but that is not my ideal.
Is the danger of a takeover of the LP by left or right-wing collectivists real or imagined? How do you address the concern?
The only way that this party could ever be taken over, and again, it's not a left or right thing, it's an authoritarian thing. The only way it could ever be taken over is if good people leave this party. So what we need to do is stick around. We need to make sure we're here for that fight. We need to make sure we're in that fight in our states, in our county, and make sure that we are promoting the ideals that we believe are the most ethical. There's always going to be, and just like communists, just like libertarianism, people will use our language. They will distort our ideals to match theirs. They will exploit it, and they will give us a bad name. But that's on us to be even louder, be even prouder, and be even more libertarian than they could ever try to pretend to be.
How should the LP most effectively exploit the current disillusionment with the political status quo?
I think where the major parties stay, and I see it, some of our candidates try to take this route, is by offering compromises. And we don't want to offer compromises, we want to make demands. So we want to connect with our voters and make the demands that they want to see. For one, abolish ICE. That is huge right now. Abolish ICE and you will get your message out. Another one, end the police state. That is a message people want to hear right now. So you be loud about it. Another one, and some of you might not agree with it, rent is theft. We have rent at such high rates that the poor can't afford to survive. Rent assistance is subsidies for the rich.
Whoa.
Right.
Hold on. That is, look. You may not agree with everything you hear up on the stage. That is the whole point, right? So Matt, you were drowned out for 15 seconds. If you would like to repeat the last 15 seconds, I hope that the people in front of you will give you the courtesy of hearing it. Go ahead.
What I'm trying to say is, the problems my constituents face may not be yours.
Stop
and you
it.
have to find out what it is that your constituents are concerned about, and you have to offer solutions. And you may not like my solutions for my constituents, but you got to find your own.
Thank you, Matt. The question is, what do the terms purism and pragmatism mean to you and to the Libertarian Party?
To me, I feel like they are just sometimes tools people use to fight. I find some people who consider themselves purists to reject some of my purist stances, like abolish private property. So, yeah, all of a sudden people want the state involved in property rights. So I think it's just a tool that people use, and I think there are pragmatic positions that people can take. Like my pragmatic position is Medicare for all. I think that resonates with people. So I think I think you need a healthy balance of principles, and I think you need a healthy balance of pragmatism. And I think when you use that appropriately, when you have that good balance, you will more resonate with more people. So is rent.
Does the internal culture of the party need to change? If so, what is the role of the chair in changing it?
Absolutely none. The culture of the party is made up by the membership. I don't think there's a real need for a culture shift, but I think we do need to catch up with the times a bit. I think we do need to encourage new members, young members. I think we need to get the youth involved while they're young. That's when you get brand loyalty. So I think when we try to lure, established people who have been voting Democrat or Republican their whole lives, the success rate of that is too low. What we need to do is really aim for the youth vote, and I go as far as under 18. I think we should oppose age limits to voting, and I think we should appeal to young children. Anybody who wants to participate in the system, and anybody who's having laws written about them in this system, deserves a voice.
You know, I think that's a really loaded question, to be honest with you. There's several different cultures in this party. I think that a national leadership team needs to set an example for our state affiliates, needs to set an example for our local affiliates. And I believe that the LNC culture can absolutely use a change. I think hateful rhetoric needs to be pushed aside. And I think we need to fill that time with work ethic. I think we need to fill that time with getting candidates elected at all levels of office across the entire nation and making our party much more successful. Thank you.
I see a rebuttal card played by Matt.
Yes, I'd like to rebut that.
Go ahead. You have 30 seconds.
What I don't understand is how anybody could believe somebody who's never ran a campaign, never been a campaign manager, never got anybody elected before, is going to get this party national success at that level. That is completely unrealistic from the person who's coming from.
Should Tim Moen and his Libertarians form a government in Canada, should the decision as to joining the Canadian Federation be left to the states?
All right. I really thought going last was going to help me with this question, but I'm still pretty lost. But anyways, I don't know, whenever you talk about states' rights, I hate that. I hate states' rights. I think that's because it doesn't go far enough. We are against the state. We are against states. States don't have rights. Individuals have rights. And whatever we can do to maximize those freedoms, we do. So as far as the Libertarians in Canada forming a government, I don't know, it just sounds bad. It sounds bad. But you know what? If it equals more liberty for Canadians, it might not be bad. So we'll see.
So each candidate will have 2 questions. They're going to ask them one at a time, do the first round of questions, and then we'll go to the next question and do another round. Each candidate has 1 question to ask another candidate.
Okay. My question is for Joshua, who often calls me a violent collectivist. He calls me a statist, which isn't true. Yet Joshua has sent me an email and a document that's threatening me with a lawsuit for $80,000 of losses for this volunteer position he's running in. And he's also threatening me with federal charges for blackmail after being endorsed by the guy who wrote the book called Legalized Blackmail. So Joshua, do you plan on continuing to threaten me with the state after this, or will it be over?
All right. 1 minute on the clock. Go ahead and answer, Joshua.
Let's just ask, what kind of candidate for an unpaid position would try to blackmail another candidate? How about we ask that question? That's the more important question. What are you scared of, Matt? Look, I sent a soft draft of a lawsuit over to this gentleman because he decided he was going to try and release my business's private chats. Business talk. If I didn't drop out of this race a week before this convention, there'd still be civil suits, even if we had a completely voluntary society. I was letting them know that that wasn't okay, that wasn't a good practice, that's not what we want in the Libertarian Party. You could be mad at me about it if you want, that's fine. I'd do it again. Thank you, I appreciate that. That's it. Yeah.
All right, we have a rebuttal card played by Matt. Go ahead, Matt, 30 seconds.
I understand Joshua's new at this, but when you run for office, you open yourself up to public scrutiny. And when you run as a libertarian, you're supposed to be running for an accountable and transparent government. So if you can't be transparent and accountable yourself, and if a whistleblower sends private chats full of homophobic speech and threats of overthrowing the Libertarian Party, that wouldn't be relevant if you weren't running for this chair. So welcome to politics.
We've had a rebuttal card played by Christopher, so Christopher, over to you.
What we are witnessing at this moment is exactly why I made the decision to run for chair. I have watched as this race has devolved into bitter name-calling and getting so far from the subject at hand, which is, once again, how do we elect libertarians? Enough of this. Let's get back to talking about how we do the business of the party and how we give our candidates and our activists the best possible chance for success. It is not through personal attacks. It is not from going back and forth up here on the stage, wasting everybody's time talking about personal bickering. Respectfully, gentlemen, let's get back to the task at hand. How are we going to elect libertarians?
Thank you, Christopher.
Okay. My question is for Joshua.
Shocking.
I want to know why it is that he receives these endorsements from people like Liberty Hangout, recently Augustus Invictus, all these right-leaning authoritarians, and I want to know why that is and why he doesn't reject them and why he. I didn't set up Liberty Hangout endorsing him, so I'd like to know why does he have such a strong alt-right following?
You got a minute, Joshua.
I've been talking smack to Augustus Invictus for 2 years, and he knew that I was doing it, and he decided to come out today about a half an hour before this debate and fake endorse me. I immediately denounced Augustus Invictus. I think he's a dark stain on this party, and I would never accept his support ever. Hold on, I'm not done, Matt. Liberty Hangout is a publication that boasts liberty. And they have been doing this for a long time. They have over 100,000 followers. And a friend of mine and myself have been trying to push them into a more libertarian direction because we like a big platform that can spread real libertarian ideals. So we got them to fire their alt-right people. All of them. They got rid of all of them. Chase Rochelle's, all of them, they're gone. And they started denouncing Trump and working for a more libertarian cause. And if I can take any platform and move someone in a more libertarian direction.
Sorry.
Hey, can we turn the mute? Excuse me.
You know what, I'm fine.
You're done?
That's fine.
He threw his card.
That's all right.
No, I saw the card. It was the music I wanted
cool,
turned
it's fine.
off.
That's all right.
You're good, okay.
Hey, look, if we can move any big platform like that into a more libertarian direction, we need to do it. We're not a big party, we need to be bigger.
Was there another rebuttal card played during that? There was?
Yeah, Matt played one.
Matt, please go ahead.
I like to say every so often Joshua will come out and say, I don't support them, blah, blah, blah. But they still support you, and you don't figure out why. You don't care why. You accept their endorsements no matter what. And just the other day, they posted, open borders are communists. So they still believe in deporting peaceful people from this country. So they have not moved in a more libertarian direction.
You know, I just got to do this. Matt, why are you here?
Fair question. It's okay. It's okay.
All right, over to Matt. You have 1 minute to answer the question.
So I explained earlier, Gary Johnson is what brought me into this party. But there's a long history before that. When I was a young teenager and an early adult, I was just a punk. I lived on the streets, I squatted in houses, I lived in the ghettos, and these are my people. And when I wanted to promote Gary Johnson to them, they didn't want to hear it. Ron Paul attracted me with his abolishment language and his anti-war, and I wanted to figure out a way to get across to the people who I identify with. I found the left libertarian ideals, and I connected with them myself. I identify with them myself, and I'm able to use that to promote the same platform, basically. I'm still in line with the platform of abolishing the government to its maximum. I want it all gone. So that's why I'm here. I feel like this is the party where if you want to abolish the whole state, this is where you do it.
All right, and we have another rebuttal card played by Joshua. Joshua, 30 seconds to rebut.
Since no one else on this stage is going to say it, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Rent and property are not theft. Thank you, guys.
Go ahead and give your 2-minute closing statement, please.
So one group I haven't talked about here much that I'm here to represent is the Audacious Caucus. What the Audacious Caucus has done, and is what we did in the Libertarians of Macomb County, is that we accept our differences. We can agree to disagree in certain areas, and we actually drafted language to ensure that those who are libertarian, whether left or right, have a place in this party. And we get things done. We get work done. What the Audacious is doing is we reject respectability politics. That is our number one issue. That is the one thing we all agree on. We don't want to be just standard politicians. We don't want to pretend that we're professionals at this, because we aren't. Most of us are not elected officials. We are individuals, and we are proud of our individualism, and we promote our individualism, and we encourage each member to be an individual. And this is an individualist party. So when you see Audacious getting attacked, and sometimes, we do attack back, I think we need to mend this divide. I think we need to understand that we deserve a seat at the table. The Libertarian Socialist Caucus and the Libertarian Party Audacious Caucus, we aren't looking to take over. And if we do take over, it's because we're better at messaging. And what we are doing is igniting the youth. We are fun. We are exciting. We're funny. We promote a political party that's unlike any other. And that is what this party needs to be. It needs to be completely different from anything else out there, and it needs to attract everybody. It needs to be fun, it needs to be inclusive, and it needs to be principled.
Ask a Libertarian Facebook fan page is spreading awareness of libertarianism and informing non-libertarians while empowering those who support liberty on a daily basis. This is your opportunity to be empowered, and let us advocate libertarianism for you at facebook.com/askalibertarian.